Hello everyone. This is John Jenkins, and I'm going to be talking to you for a few minutes about the subject of YouTube psychology. And uh, I could have made this a video about social media psychology, about the psychology of all of social media, your Pinterest, your Instagram, your Snapchat, your Facebook, Google Plus, Gmail, but social media is too big. It's too all-encompassing. I could not address all of it at the same time. And in addition to that, YouTube is very distinct. It's very different from regular social media. It's it's pretty much the only social media where I'm willing to show my face. So I did not include crowdfunding or uh, other social media into this psychology talk. This is specifically YouTube psychology. And the question that I want to answer about YouTube psychology is that what do why do people go to YouTube? And specifically, what motivation do people have on YouTube when they click on a certain video? And I have not done any surveys on this, but what I've noticed is that in the beginning in the beginning in the beginning it's pretty predictable why people go to YouTube. You have the young boys who are, who have hormones and they're looking for softcore pornography. Um, and then you have the young girls who want to see a video of, you know, uh, Ryan Gosling or uh, Ryan Reynolds. And then you have, of course, pirated music. Probably, I would estimate that about 90% of the views on YouTube go to pirated music. The top 10 videos on YouTube are pirated music. And I do consider Vivo piracy because obviously the artist isn't getting as much money as they feel that they deserve. So top 10 videos on YouTube are pirated music, and the majority of views on YouTube go to pirated music. Uh, but there's a but when you get past that, when you get to the channels that people subscribe to, you know, uh, it's when it goes to the personalities, the distinct YouTube personalities that have come to the forefront. You got your Markiplier, KSI, PewDiePie, and what motivates people to watch, to patronize them to watch their videos. And the answer that I came up with was what I like to call a doppelganger search. And what is a doppelganger? Well, the dictionary says that a doppelganger is someone who looks like us. And another definition was a ghost that looks like us. But if you look at the history of media, doppelgangers in the media have garnered a much more sophisticated definition. In our society, in modern society, the new term of the definition of a doppelganger, it would be the equivalent of one person in another culture, which would mean, you know, if I if I was born in Mexico instead of the United States, what would I dress like? What would my skin color be? Uh how would I talk? What would be, what would be my political views? And you know, so in the modern day definition of a doppelganger, it's not as easy to say that, if you have two people in two different countries who happen to like the same color clothes, that would mean that they are doppelgangers. That's that doesn't fit the modern definition. That might fit the old definition of a doppelganger, but the modern definition of a doppelganger is that it would be your equivalent in another culture, which means that if I was born in Mexico, I would probably, you know, I would probably be wearing red and green right now, or uh, you know, maybe a more sunlight color because it's a lot sunnier in Mexico. So, and obviously I would speak fluent Spanish. I would not be eating pizza, uh, chicken wings, things of that nature. Uh, my home would not be painted white, Um, a whole lot of things. I would probably be a soccer fan, you know, because because uh, uh, we underestimate the amount that our upbringing influences our culture. And I would probably be listening to Mexican music. If I were my equivalent in Mexico, will probably be listening to uh, Mexican music, not just Spanish music, but specifically Mexican music, because you know Mexico has a culture that's distinct from other Spanish speaking cultures. I probably wouldn't be listening to like Guatemalan or Honduran music, um, because that would be the Mexican music would be the dominant music in Mexico, you know, and I would not have the same DNA sequence or the same fingerprints. Not to say that fingerprints are influenced by culture, but just the simple fact that in order for me to be born there, I would necessarily have to have different genetic influences because space and time influence our genes. And so that was my theory for YouTube psychology. What we are doing is we are looking for, uh, we are doing a doppelganger search. You know, we look for the person who seems to in who we look for the person who seems eerily like us. You know, the reason why I believe the reason why people look at PewDiePie's video is because, you know, deep down inside, they're thinking, well, if I were born in, I believe PewDiePie is in Switzerland. Uh, if I were born in whatever country PewDiePie is from, uh, I would be just like him, and people start to connect with that person on a deeper level, you know, it, though in a way that they would not connect with, uh, in a way that they would not connect with somebody that with a YouTuber that I'm subscribed to. Like I'm subscribed to uh, Mark Bustler and John Bain, and when I watch their videos and I listen to them, I say, you know what? I mean, even the, e- even when I first saw a picture, the thing that really you know surprised me when I first saw a picture of John Bain, and like he doesn't look anything like the way his voice sounds, and so, but the thing that really connected me to him was that I saw him as my doppelganger. As in, I believe that if I had grown up in the place that he grew up in, if I had the access to the resources that he had, then I would have ended up just like him. And the same with Mark Bustler. I've never drank a beer before, and I don't like El Caminos. I'm a Porsche guy. But if I had been raised where he had been raised, and if I had been exposed to the things that he had been exposed to, if I were his age, I believe if I remember correctly, John Bain is like 1 year younger than me, which is surprising. And Mark Bustler is like 10 years older, or 10 or 20 years older than me. I'm sorry, he would be 10 years older than me. Uh, so yeah, but they're not necessarily the same age as you. they're just people who your equivalent, and there's so many. It's I've redefined the term dynamic equivalency. Uh, it's a dynamic equivalency. It's like not necessarily, oh, if you both like Fruit Loops and you both wear green shirts, then you're doppelgangers to each other. No, it's the metrics are so complex. You know, I mean, one person could, one doppelganger could be a be a paraplegic, and another could be an Olympic swimmer. So it, but our minds are able to process that. And so yeah, I mean, so let me know what you think. I mean, what do you think? What is your take on YouTube psychology, and what do you think people are motivated by? And yeah, I'll talk to you later. Bye.